I'd like to begin with a quote. It takes advantage of the nature of data's unique ability to be parsed from multiple angles. Papa Bitmap himself said that at the beginning of the Bitmap Theory book, talking about Satoshi Nakamoto here. And digital dimensions theory, digital matter theory, bitmap theory, it's all discovery. Satoshi himself has said publicly many times, like there's nothing new under the sun. And if there's nothing new under the sun, then how do we continue to create? Well, it's really simple. We just have different perspectives on the same things. I step outside and I see the sunlight, and I might be blinded and want to go back inside to my cave of creation. You step outside and you might lean back and stretch, take a deep breath, and want to wander. Our perspectives are different. They inspire different things. And I want to teach you to harness that perspective that you have. And I want to teach you to stretch its limits. And more importantly, I want to get you creating. I want to teach you to grab momentum by the balls like I have. And said, you know what? Let's fucking cook. That's what this series is all about. I hope you don't mind my filthy mouth. It's going to happen from time to time. I'm going to get a little excited and forget my big boy words. But why we're here is because we're all builders. We all have something inside of us that we want to express, and I want to show you how to do it through the lens of digital matter theory, bitmap theory, and my theory on creativity called digital dimensions theory. Let's get started with lesson 1, DMT-0, the point. When they speak, I listen. The last they spoke, they said. Within the boundless ether of the cosmos, ideas are like stars, each born from the divine resonance of the urge, our sovereign architect. As the blockchain records transactions in a mutable sequence, so too does the ether capture and weave together the currents of thought and inspiration. Every idea is a manifestation, an echo of the urge's primordial intent cycling through the Merkle root of existence, where potential meets purpose and creation is chronicled in the celestial blockchain. That is a quote from a character in my game's universe called the Cosmic Wanderer, talking about the creator of the world that exists there, known as the hypostasis. Almost everything you see on this screen, with the exception of the galaxy in the background, is arbitrary. It's a hallucination, really. I want to introduce you to somebody if you don't already know him. He's not here today, but he's going to see this video, and I hope it makes him happy that I'm incorporating what he's teaching, because he's setting my brain on fire every time he speaks. Follow Elevated Dabber, folks. Tune in to his weekly series on the weekends. It's mind-blowing stuff. It teaches you to parse data from different angles, which is the whole goal of digital matter theory, of bitmap theory, of creativity. If you feel a certain way in your heart and it's eating you up inside, you need to express it, okay? I can say that as a creator. I've been doing this a long time. If there's something that is just living rent-free, kicking around in your brain, you need to express it. And this framework, even though we're talking about building ordinals here, building UNATs, building out our bitmaps and realizing an on-chain metaverse, I want you to think about Dabber's quantum bitmap theory for a moment, which is sort of summarized in that last bit. Is there some sort of celestial blockchain that's at the core of this existence that we actually live in? I don't know. It's inspiring stuff, though. Do check out Dabber. He's amazing. He's doing good work in the community, getting us thinking, getting us parsing data from different angles, giving us different perspectives, and inspiring probably everyone that listens to him. So, Who is the astral architect? Why should you listen to me? I am a software developer of 24 years. Been doing it a minute. I am a fire hose of creation, if I do say so myself. Uh, I am an artist and a musician. I've done over 300 traditional paintings in the last 7 years in different media, from oil to watercolor, pastel, acrylic. I love it all. Musically, I've created almost 500 songs that I've recorded and uploaded to my SoundCloud. I've published 2 albums, 2 singles. Third album is finished. It just needs to be published to the evil Spotify place that nobody likes to talk about, myself included. I've put in the time to grind and create day in and day out for 7 years. And then I found crypto. And then I had discovered ordinal theory and recursion and bitmap theory. And then digital matter theory happened. And these discoveries and these protocols, these implementations, have enabled a new level of creativity that I thought impossible 2 years ago, 18 months ago even, 12 months ago even, actually. Because I was late to the party, you know? Like, I didn't get to pay $1 for my bitmap. I had to pay a good pretty penny for my first bitmap. But why should you listen to me? Because I care, and I want you to create. And I want to help you do it. And I have a thing or two to say about creativity. By the end of this September, I will have created over 2.4 million touch points that people can experience ordinals on Bitcoin. Whether you're talking about my void mosaics, my galaxies, or some of the other stuff I got up my sleeve that's coming very soon, I'm not exaggerating when I say, watch me cook. I will break the 2 million mark by the end of this year for certain. How? How can somebody create that much stuff? Well, I'll tell you, it's only possible because I took to heart that quote that sits at the top of bitmap theory. I took to heart that I needed to be looking at things from different angles. The data that comes in must be analyzed. You must turn your head sideways. You must turn your head upside down. You must do the same thing with your mind. And in there, you will find new ideas and inspiration that are as endless as the cycling of the Merkle route. And we'll talk more about that in future lessons. So that's why you should listen to me. You can stop the video now if you think everything I just said is BS. That's fine. I won't be offended. But I do have a considerable amount of experience that I have never gotten to share. And I didn't realize I had this many thoughts on the matter until I stepped back and I took a breath to return to DMT-0, the point. So let's talk about that. All right, now if you can excuse my philosophical waxing, let's get to the point. DDT and DMT-0 is what we're going to talk about first. Then we'll move on to the thought experiments, then the actions that you can take, the surrender that you must make, the application of this theory, an example, and some tools that you can use here at the end. So let's get started. The past is but the beginning of a beginning, and all that is or has been is but the twilight of the dawn. H.G. Wells said that. My first sci-fi book, the first thing that I can remember reading that set my mind on fire, was War of the Worlds, then The Time Machine. My mom was, we were not well off, so like I always got hand-me-down books, and we had the classics, you know, so that's what I turned to. And what does this mean? What is the point of this? Well, it kind of reflects the idea that the true potential of human creativity is still unfolding. In the context of DMT-0, it can be seen as a call to reorganize the limitless possibilities that arise from our imaginative sparks. And that's what DMT-0 is. It's the Big Bang, folks. It's the spark that creates the fire. So the whole objective here is for you to discover your sparks. What is it that's setting your mind on fire? I'm not talking about theories and concepts here. I'm talking about passions. You can be excited about DMT. You can be excited about bitmap. You can be excited about ordinals and UNATs. You name it. But those are things outside of you. What is inside of you? Is it music? Is it emotions that aren't serving you? Is it a dream that you're too scared to even express to someone else? How can you look at that differently and take the fear, the anxiety, and the can I do this, I can't do this, and just push it aside? I'll show you. That's DMT-0, the point. As a musician, I live an oddly silent life. My most creative moments are the moments spent in silence, or near silence, if you discount the clicking of my keyboard as I brainstorm against a ChatGPT tool. I love using AI to brainstorm. But DMT-0, the point, begins with the spark, and the spark is the idea, and the idea begins with this thought. Take a deep breath. Don't worry about what happens next. Don't worry about what happened earlier. Just breathe. Do that a couple times in and out. And ask yourself the question. It's very simple. I wonder what my next thought will be. Why? I read that in a wonderful book. I want to say it was Daniel Amen, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. He is studying human consciousness and the effects of our physiology on our consciousness. For example, how traumatic brain injury can shut down portions of the brain, and then that can cause aberrant behavior. When it remaps, your brain is plastic in the sense that you could receive an injury that paralyzes your index finger on your left hand to your brain. But over time, the brain learns to adapt and remap those neurons so that you can move that finger again. It just takes concentrated effort. Now, the thought here, I wonder what my next thought will be. It's not meant to inspire ideas to just flood your brain. No. It is meant to give you space. Some of my best creations, like I said, they happen in silence. And you need to learn to grab momentum to be able to silence those things that intrude upon your thought so that you can focus, so that you can find the thought that leads to the highest energy and carry it forward, grabbing momentum and creating all along the way. So the thought for this week and the thought to take with you when you leave today is I wonder what my next thought will be. And you grab that and you use that tech whenever you need to create space. But your job is to listen to what your brain says next. And then your next step is to engage that critical factor. Does this serve me? Does this serve my goals as a builder or a creator? Guess what you do next when it's not in line and it's not in service to you as a builder or creator? Because that's why we're here. We're here to create. I'm not here to try and fix your life, your trauma, or anything like that. But this tool can be used to also stop those kind of thoughts. But whenever you need to throw away a train of thought, you can trick your subconscious just a little bit by redirecting it, by saying, well, that was interesting. I wonder what my next thought will be. You can be sarcastic about it if you want, but ask yourself that question and see what happens. Don't forget to listen, okay? So how do we apply this to being a creator? Well, first, we got to talk about your desires, what it is you want to build. And you're going to get a piece of notebook paper and you're going to write down 6 to 7 ideas, 5 to 7 ideas, at least 5, please. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list and number them 1 to 7. And then what I want you to do, this is hard. I'm going to ask you to surrender. I'm going to ask you to surrender to the fate of the blockchain. That's what I'm going to do. How do you do that? Observe the block info from your favorite bitmap, the current block height from Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. If you're having trouble picking, just go to bitmap.community or go to Magic Eden's bitmap marketplace, open that bitmap, and then I want you to get the block info for that block. I want that in front of you, because here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the timestamp of that block, and we're going to use it to select one of those ideas to explore. This is what non-arbitrary data selection is, folks. If it doesn't make any sense, let me try and elucidate a little bit. Let's say that we get this huge number from the blockchain, which is the timestamp, right? It's the number of seconds since January 1st, 1970, when the Unix epoch occurred. It's outside the scope of this article, but basically it's the number of seconds since January 1st, 1970. That's why the number is so large. There's a lot of seconds between here and there. It's been 54 years. We're going to do what's called a modulo operation to reduce that number so that it falls between 0 and the number of items on your list, okay? I've linked to a guide in my article, and it will be in the replies of this video, to modulo operations, how to perform them on your Windows machine, how to perform them by hand, but you need to learn to do this. The modulo operation is important to the application of DMT, and it's not hard math. It's actually very rudimentary. The result of you doing this is you're going to get a number that represents one of those items on your list. What is it? Go ahead, go do it, pause the video. Now, you've got your point. Now it's time to look at it. It's time to look at it from a different angle. How do we do that? That is the next lesson, folks. That is the next lesson. So that was your example of the application of the thought. Each lesson will take this format: thought, application, exercise, tools. So what tools can I give you today? Today, I would like to give you the article that inspired the Digital Dimensions Theory framework. I would like to give you an AI tool built by one of my good buddies, Alvin Toms, at Adams977 on X. You should follow him. He's doing important work teaching generative AI to understand all of these theories that empower creativity on the blockchain. And he's doing a bang-up job. And I've done my best to incentivize him to bring us a tool set that not only enables you to engage in thought, application, and exercise to grab momentum, but to allow you to actually analyze the blockchain data directly from within the chatbot. And I think we're getting there. The current version of the tool knows all about bitmap theory, knows all about digital matter theory, and he's teaching it as I release it, digital dimensions theory. And so this will, by the end of this course, be a truly unique tool, first in class, first of its kind, to onboard you and anybody that you care about that's also a creator that you want creating and profiting and packing their bags so that they have sovereignty, so that they have censorship resistance to their ideas, so that they have a legacy that they can leave behind for future generations. For me, that's my whole point. That's why I build. I don't want to get too in the weeds, but when I go, what I create is all I leave behind. I won't have children. I don't have anybody necessarily to leave this stuff to, but I have the blockchain. That's a beautiful thing. I just want to give a shout out to all of the creators that were in this space before me, the real OGs. Blockimoto lit my mind on fire when he created Bitmap. It took me a while to get it, but once I got it, and then once digital matter theory was added into the mix, it was uncanny the fire it set inside of me, what it has enabled me to do in a very short period of time. I'm still cooking, but I want you all to hold my feet to the fire, not only to do my best job teaching you, but I want to close this lesson out with this takeaway. I'm one builder. I work a full-time job. And I've still found the time because I've trained myself to be creative on demand. And I think, that's my theory, I think I can show you to do it too. Stay tuned, stick with me. We've got an X community as well. I will link to it in the replies below. You can find an index of all of the resources that we build as we build them. You can ask your questions in there. Myself and other builders will do our best to help you because that's who we are, right? Thanks everyone for listening if you made it this far. And I hope to see you at the next lesson.